Hi everyone, my name is Laura, and in today's video I'm going to give you my best and worst manga of 2023. These are the picks that I talked about at San Diego Comic-Con, and the one that I didn't get the chance to talk about because there was a fire alarm that went off in the last 20 minutes and we had to evacuate the room, so there's that. So for those of you who made it to the panel, you'll get to see all my picks and I'll get to talk about them for longer than 1 minute. And if you didn't get to come to San Diego Comic-Con, consider this your replacement. And since I'm not public speaking, I can be a little bit more animated because I am not a public speaker. I get very nervous. If you guys saw my vlog, yeah, I get very nervous speaking in front of like people. So I tend to be a lot more lively when I'm just filming by myself. Without further ado, let's get started. I'm gonna go down all the categories and just share my picks and talk about them a little bit. So I think none of these will surprise people that have been following me for a while, but you know what? For those of you who are new, maybe you'll get something new out of this. We're going to get started with the best new manga for kids and teens. My pick was Cinderella Closet, published by 7 Seas. So this is a story of a girl who lives in the countryside. She's a basketball player and she has big dreams of moving to the big city and becoming this very fashionable city girl. But you know what? Those dreams are about to burst because she quickly finds out how expensive life is in the big city. Tokyo is not cheap. So our girl with big dreams has to be a struggling student with a part-time job as a waitress. That's where she meets this very handsome boy who is your typical, you know, shoujo love interest. Dark hair, very handsome, kind of charming, but at the same time he's aloof to the fact that homegirl has a crush on him. Although the story does have a lot of the typical shoujo romance tropes, including a love triangle, there is a twist that I was not expecting as I was reading it for the first time. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Ouran High School Host Club, so if you're a fan of that series, then I think you will probably like Cinderella Closet as well. And you might notice there's a third person on the cover of volume 1, and yes, that is Hikaru, and Hikaru deserves all the love. There's a lot more to Hikaru than meets the eye. They're not just this glamazon, fashionable person. There's a lot more, but I don't want to spoil it. You just have to check out volume 1 to find out more about Hikaru. While we do get some physical makeovers presented in volume 1, there is a big emphasis that confidence doesn't come with just outer beauty. Hikaru's very adamant that you have to work on yourself from the inside out to radiate that beauty. It doesn't all come from makeup and just fancy clothes. So I really enjoyed Cinderella Closet. I think a lot of teens will enjoy it as well, especially if they're in high school, because it just gives them a much more, I guess, realistic picture about what it's like from transitioning from high school to college. The next category is Best New Manga for Grown-Ups, and my pick was Oshi No Ko. Oshi No Ko is a perfect example of don't judge a book by its cover, because what you see on the cover is this beautiful Japanese idol, and what you get inside is that and a whole lot more. A lot of emotional trauma. If you haven't heard of Oshi No Ko, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, this is not a series about a cute Japanese idol, although you do see that. This series offers a grim perspective of an up-and-coming idol with the reality that her real life is nothing like the idol persona that she portrays up on stage. So you do get to see how toxic fandom culture can be, and we also see how parasocial relationships can skew the perception of reality to the point that fans think that their favorite idol owes them everything from their time to their affection. As I was reading volume 1, I found myself absolutely hooked to the point that I kept reading, and then I would notice things that were foreshadowed in earlier volumes, so I kept flipping back just to see if I was right, and then flipping back to where I was reading. So it took me a while to get through volume 1, but it was such a fun reading experience, and it's a reading experience that I haven't had in a very long time. I found the story so far to be very captivating. Characters are very complex as well. There's a lot more than meets the eye with certain characters. There's also an element of kind of an isekai element as well thrown in the mix. The artwork in the manga as well as in the anime is absolutely stunning. The anime aired this past spring season and I do recommend it, especially because the artwork is, once again, absolutely stunning. The animation is also beautiful, and there's also the music aspect that you don't get while reading the manga, so I highly recommend it. It is definitely for an older audience, so be aware of that. So if you have not yet checked out Oshi No Ko, at least watch the first episode, which is 90 minutes long, but I do highly recommend the manga as well. The next category is Best Continuing Series for Kids and Teens. My pick was Sasaki and Miyano. I'm sure this one will surprise absolutely no one. It's one of my favorite series and one of my all-time favorite BLs. If you're not familiar with Sasaki and Miyano, let me just give you a short synopsis. So we have a BL-loving first-year high school student named Miyano who meets an upperclassman named Sasaki who's a little rough around the edges, and they form a friendship while bonding over BL manga. This is a coming-to-age story about two boys coming to terms with their sexuality and also their feelings for one another. And you might think that Miyano, being a self-described fudanshi or BL fanatic, you might think that he just doesn't have to question his sexuality, but he's actually the one that does, because he's never thought of himself as gay. He's never thought of himself as someone who could be attracted to another male. So it's a very introspective manga, and I think it's something that teens could relate to, especially if they're around the same age as Miyano and Sasaki, and kind of, you know, battling those same emotions that Miyano was during the earlier volumes of the series. If you're a fan of classic high school shoujo series where you can vicariously live through the protagonist and experience what it's like to fall in love for the first time, all those warm fuzzy feelings, those butterflies in your stomach, then you're really going to love Sasaki and Miyano. That's one of the reasons why I absolutely adore this series. This is literally the cutest story with such lovable protagonists, and the whole entire cast of characters, all the other classmates, are equally as adorable, and they add a lot of comedic relief as well. And I didn't mention this on the panel, but I also highly recommend Hirano and Kagiura as well. It is super cute as well. You follow Sasaki's friend Hirano, who's also Miyano's upperclassman, his senpai, and it's just so cute too. So I don't know, if you just want those, again, those warm fuzzy feelings, those butterflies, all those cute adorable moments, both series are fantastic. It is so hot today that my bangs have started to curl up. You know what, let's just keep going. So next category is Best Continuing Series for Grown-ups, and my pick was Life Lessons with Uramichi Oniisan, which will surprise absolutely no one. So this series and its lead character Uramichi just speak to my millennial soul who's absolutely just dead inside. I'm overworked, I'm tired, and you know what? Adulting, I forgot my microphone. Being an adult sucks. This series follows a group of adults in their late 20s and early 30s who once had big dreams and now are stuck working at a children's TV show. This series has it all. It has self-deprecating humor, brutally honest children. We have some dark and twisted nursery rhymes, mascots, and you also get some very relatable and sometimes dark moments as well. Beyond the goofy comedy that this series has to offer and the deceptively dark, I said it correctly, I'm reading from my notes that I wrote for the panel, okay? It took me some time to type this up, so I'm gonna read from my notes. The deceptively dark nursery rhymes, this series does focus on what happens when dreams you once had slip away and you're now trying to find meaning to life. I was feeling very inspired while I wrote this. Uramichi Oniisan is an honest and comedic portrayal of the grim realities of adulthood. The anime is equally as amazing, highly recommended, and it offers the dream Japanese voice acting cast. You have Mamoru Miyano, you have freaking Captain Levi's voice actor voicing Uramichi, you have Gojo's voice actor. Basically, I could keep on going with life lessons with Uramichi Oniisan. I really do need to make a whole video. I'm not one to make like video essays, but I can easily make one on life lessons with Uramichi Oniisan. Go read life lessons with Uramichi Oniisan. I'm begging you. Especially if you're around my age. You'll get a lot from it, trust me. The next category is the worst manga. And my pick was Gap Papa. Yes, I said that right. It is Gap Papa. I know. It looks adorable. I bought it thinking it was going to be adorable. And you know what? It was. It was adorable. It was cute. I feel bad mentioning this as a worst manga, but out of everything that I've read, I purposely avoid trying to buy bad manga or things that I'm not gonna enjoy. So I bought this thinking I'm going to love it because it's a series that focuses on the nuclear family, and I've been wanting to read a slice of life story with a husband, a wife, and a kid for so long. But all I got was a $16 illustration book. There is no plot. I didn't care about any of them because I barely learned a thing about any of the characters. All the panels look like this. They're cute. They're adorable. They make me want to punch air because I have none of this in my real life. But yeah, there's nothing to follow. There's nothing to follow, and this was just volume 1. I have no idea how or what they're gonna do in volume 2, and honestly I kind of don't care to buy volume 2. So yeah, for $16 I just felt like I was robbed. Especially considering that if I pay $3 or $4 more, I can just buy a freaking Korean manhwa that's also in full color just like Gap Papa, but actually has a cohesive plot, amazing storytelling, and the art is, you know, equally as amazing. What can I say? So yeah, for that for those reasons, Gap Papa was the worst manga that I have read, but technically there really wasn't that much to read. It was just, I was just flipping through pictures. So yeah, I'm sorry, 7Cs. I'm sorry, Gap Papa fans, but I can't recommend it. Alright, next category, most anticipated new manga. I gave that to My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. You might be wondering, wasn't this already licensed in English? And technically, yeah, you're right. It was licensed digitally, but we're finally getting physical copies. Yay, physical copies! Thanks to how popular the anime was. Woo woo! But we're getting it after the anime. That's the life of a shoujosei fan. So this series filled the void left in my heart after Watakoi Love is Hard for Otaku ended. I had to mention Watakoi once in the panel. Don't worry, I didn't talk about Hirotaka on the panel. I could have, but I would have just talked off tangent. So if you were a fan of Watakoi Love is Hard for Otaku, you're most likely going to love My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. I don't think they're exactly the same, but they do have some similar elements. This is a romance slice of life series for geeky adults that like video games. You follow a first-year college student named Akane that was just dumped by her gamer boyfriend after he met a girl on the MMORPG game that you do get to see a lot throughout the series. Akane struggles to move on and decides to play the same game as her ex, and that's where she meets this cold and expressionless character with curly hair that happens to be a very popular and equally as expressionless gamer named Akito Yamada. This story follows Akane as she befriends the people who make up the guild in the game that she plays, including Akito Yamada. And for Yamada, we slowly but surely get to see him opening up to not only Akane, but the other people that make up the guild, and also he opens up to a world outside of just being in his bedroom, and just playing video games. I know for myself, people are always asking me for manga series that depict adult friendships and relationships similar to Watakoi, so that's where my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999 that's where it comes into place. So if you have not yet read the series or watched the anime, I recommend both of them, but I'm very much looking forward to rereading the manga once it's available as a physical manga. My bangs are getting progressively more and more curly. Like, what is this? I got 1, 2, 3. This looks much more curly. You know what? I hate summer. I hate summer so much. Let's move on. We have 2 more categories to go. The next category is Most Wanted, and this was a very selfish pick. That was my unhinged pick of the panel. I wish I could have talked about it because I probably would have been laughing while talking about this on the panel. But you know what? I've had really good luck manifesting things once I put them online and I actually get what I want, whether it's like physical copies, something getting licensed, or an anime release. Like, I've had pretty good luck, okay? So I kind of just wanted to put this out there in the universe online because I really want Hypnosis-Mic to be freaking licensed in English, okay? This is my selfish pick because this rap battle franchise that is getting a 2nd season of the anime has so much recorded music, drama CDs, a rhythm game, stage plays, and an annual concert with the whole entire voice acting cast that fills up arenas, by the way. Still doesn't have an official English license of the manga, not even digitally or printed. Like, it's insanity, okay? It's an abomination. I'm going off script now. So this is the most unhinged idol-like series with a fandom that thrives on memeing just about everything. I mean, who wouldn't want to be part of this fandom? Like, it's the best. So much fun. If you have not heard of Hypnosis-Mic, let me give you a basic plot without all the unhinged things that this series has to offer. So after a war, women have taken over and are now in political power. They have destroyed weapons, causing men to fight through rap battles using microphones like this one that can affect people through I messed up. That can affect people's thought processes and nerves. Follow a few different groups representing the different divisions in Tokyo, and none of them really make sense on paper. For example, you have one of the groups made up of an ex-Yakuza member, a corrupt cop, and a military man. Another group is made up of a doctor, a host club member, and also a very exhausted, overworked employee who apologizes way too much and is voiced by Kentito. Maybe it was a good idea that I didn't get to talk about Hypnosis-Mic on the panel, because I would have just gone off tangent about Kentito. But I digress. This series is a very fun time with very catchy music, and the manga does get much darker than the anime, so there's more backstory. I just want to read that without having to go on illegal websites, which is why I need it to get licensed. Kodansha. Give me Hypnosis-Mic. There's only 4 volumes. Just pull out Uramichi Oniisan and give me two in 1 volumes. What else can I say? I wish this was an actual Hypnosis-Mic. And for the last category, we have... Wait. Oh, not again. This is 100% of the Lulu talking. So, last category, underrated but awesome manga. My pick was Last Gender. I have made a whole video about this series, but I just wanted to talk about this as an underrated manga series because it deserves to be talked about. This was my pitch for the crowd about Last Gender. Imagine one of those Hollywood all-star ensemble cast movies like New York, I Love You, where you follow different characters and see their individual stories, but instead you have an all-star queer cast. Amazing. This series is meant for adult audiences because there's themes in this manga that are not suitable for teens. It's also wrapped in plastic. That's your sign that it's not for you. Unless you go to Kinokuniya and everything's wrapped in plastic. But if you go to a Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, those stores, and you see manga wrapped in plastic, that's for your grubby fingers to not buy. This series has characters that identify as lesbian, pansexual, trans, bisexual, bigender, aromantic, gay, lithromantic, grey gender, agender, and polyamory. I think that would have taken up almost the whole entire minute, but let's get going. The setting of the story is Bar California, which is a welcoming, sex-positive bar where patrons can come to feel safe, chat, have a drink, or engage in safe sexual activities if they wish. You learn all about the labels within the story and find out that even though all the patrons are part of the minority within Japanese society, they also hold judgment and misunderstandings of other labels and identities. This is a fantastic and thought-provoking read that proves that with some empathy and open-mindedness, anyone can learn to be accepting of their true identities and others as well. The end. Those were my best and worst manga picks of 2023. Everything that I talked about at San Diego Comic-Con 2023, and the 2 manga picks that I did not get to talk about on the panel. If you happen to be one of the people inside the room at the panel, thank you so much for attending. And although it wasn't my fault that the alarms went off, I'm still very sorry that you guys didn't get to see the whole thing. If you do want to hear the panel, Deb Aoki will be posting it on the Manga Splaining podcast, so once I get the link for that, I will link it in the information bar below. All the panelists will also be linked in the information bar below if you want to follow any of them. And I don't know why I'm still talking to a microphone that's not plugged in. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye!